Welcome back to another flashlight review. Today we're going to be looking at the Nextorch K30, and this is the brightest pen light that I own. It produces 850 lumens and puts out way more light than many of my other AA flashlights. So I've reviewed something similar to this in the past. It was the Nextorch K3RT, and Nextorch had marketed that one as a self-defense pen light. It had a built-in battery though, and also 330 lumen output. I actually have it here with me on the side. Okay, it's a little bit smaller, but you know, things have obviously changed since then. And you know, the K30, it's got double the output and replaceable batteries as well, which is something that's so important for me, especially long term. When I'm using these lights, I want to make sure that they're going to last me if I'm, you know, putting out much investment into them. So let's have a look at what you get in the box. So of course you get the K30, and here's the battery. This is a Nextorch 650 milliamp hour cell, 10880 lithium ion cell, and I've never actually seen one of these before. I thought this was just made of two, you know, 10440 cells, and I was trying to find the groove, but this is actually just a separate cell in itself. And yeah, you can use two AAA cells in here as well. Okay, so if you've got some primary cells, which is fantastic, you don't have to run around, you know, trying to charge that battery all the time. And that's the box that the K30 comes in. You can pause the video as well if you want to check out some of these little specifications here, especially down the base there. Also tells you a bit about the drop and water resistance as well. There are also some other little accessories that you get. Basically just the USB-C charging cable here, and you also get the manual, which I find you really need with Nextorch lights because they have such a simple UI. So here are a bunch of other pen lights from Nextorch that I have. So some of you might be aware already of that K3RT that I reviewed in the past, and this one here is the Nextorch Dr. K32. It's a high CRI specialized flashlight. And if we line them up all side by side, you know, they look pretty similar, but there are kind of like different lengths. K30's right in the middle there, and it doesn't have this kind of tactical bezel, this glass breaking bezel that you have here on the K3RT. Would have been nice if they'd added that in, but as an EDC flashlight and something that you might want to bring onto a plane, you know, these bezels can often cause a lot of trouble and you get them confiscated off you. So yeah, I think this is a good, reasonable choice. Okay, so here's a little close-up of the Nextorch K30, and you know, as always, premium build quality. This light is machined from 6061 aluminium, and as I was showing you before, that the head is unscrewable in order to access the battery. And I like how the light is perfectly balanced as well. I mean, the balancing point is right in the center of the light there. I don't feel like the head is heavier than the body, and the clip as well, super sturdy. That's one of the first places that go, I find the clip, but yeah, feels like it barely has any flex, really strong. The button on the rear is also made of metal, and there's some kind of non-slip machine grip or whatever on the button as well to help you find it. And yeah, overall the light is really smooth. There isn't a whole lot of grip on there, but you know, if you press down, it does get grippier. It's a kind of matte black anodizing, and the light is rated at IPX7, 1 meter drop and water resistant. In order to charge that 10880 cell, You first have to remove it from the light and then plug in USB-C charger in there. There's a little light that comes on, tells you that it's charging. It will turn red and then blue once it's finished charging. But yeah, like I said, you can also find any AAA, two AAA alkaline or nickel metal hydride cells, put them in there, and they're going to work just fine as well, just with some reduced brightness. And yeah, you know, down the bezel, as you can see, you've got a single LED in there. I'm not sure what it is. I'm not sure really what it is, but it's, you know, 850 lumens. Could be a Nichia or Samsung LED, like a low CRI version of the, you know, 519A maybe. And yeah, you've got orange peel reflector, glass lens on the front. Nice stainless steel bezel. Kind of this brushed finish. Makes it, you know, gives it that kind of premium look. So let's go through the UI, and this is really simple. You just press the tail switch, and from there, turn off, press again, and you sort of switch between the different modes. So you got low, medium, high, and then a strobe in there. Now another thing you can do, you can half press the button. So low, medium, high, and then strobe, and then lock in. So low, medium, high maybe, and then lock in high, or maybe you want to get to just low and lock in. Okay, there is no memory mode on this as well. It's just always going to go to the next mode. So I ran a bunch of ceiling bounce tests on the Nextorch K30, and really quite impressive results here on high. As you can see, that 850 lumen mode, and you get about a minute of runtime on that high before the torch steps down, and that's by the 2-minute mark, and you're about 30% where it remains for the rest of the test. But yeah, a minute of runtime on 850 lumens, that's pretty good for a torch flashlight of this size, given that there's not a whole lot of heat sinking on there. And this is the medium mode, you can see, and pretty much maintains its output for the duration of the test. Also ran a bunch of tests with my Opal Lightmaster Pro, and you can see here 118 meters of throw on the high mode. Quite impressive for a light of this size. You just wouldn't expect it to throw 100 meters. On the medium mode, which is sustainable, you know, nearly 50 meters of throw as well. CRI was 69 to 71, and the CCT was between 5,600 to 6,000. I was really surprised at the amount of light this thing produced. It's yeah, surprisingly bright, and you do also get quite a smooth beam profile as well. There's a nice blended hotspot. In terms of considerations, I really wish that this had a 1 lumen mode. 20 lumens for the low mode is fine, but I still find it a bit bright if you're using it in the middle of the night. The second consideration is the high price point versus other pen lights out there. Okay, you can get some cheap ones out there, but of course, you're just not going to get the level of quality, the performance, and the reliability of the K30. The third consideration is strobe mode implementation. You know, I really don't like that it has that strobe in there. And I wish it was separated out from the low, medium, high. Personally, I don't have much use for it. And, you know, I find it annoying when I'm switching in between the other modes. So yeah, even if I had a use for it, I would prefer it to just be separated out somewhere, maybe like another button that would just lead straight to the strobe mode. And the fourth consideration is, of course, the battery, which is a lower capacity, but still double the capacity of previous models of this light. You've also got to charge the battery outside the light, which can be good as well, because it just means that there's more water resistance. As you know, you don't have ports that can be potentially opened and water can get into the electronics. Overall, if you're looking for a high quality, super bright pen light, this might be the one for you. And 850 lumens is more than enough for short bursts. You know, as you saw in the test, it lasts for 1 minute, which I would say is pretty good performance. And the lower modes as well do make it perfect for EDC use. I think this would be a great light to keep in your pocket, your backpack, and the ability to replace the battery as well. The 10880, you can find tons of them online, as well as use primary AAA cells, also ensures that you can keep using this light for many years to come. So if you're interested in this light, go ahead and check the video description. I've got a link there. If you have any questions, let me know and I will get back to you. If you enjoyed this video, do me a big favor and click the like button. It helps me to get it out to more people. And if you want to see more flashlight reviews and the latest news, make sure you subscribe. Nextorch K30, and this is the low mode. You can kind of just see it in the foreground, and to me it goes all the way up into those bushes up ahead, but it's just difficult for the camera to pick that up. We'll go into the second mode now, so medium mode, and this would make a pretty decent walking light even on the medium mode. I mean, I can see up until, you know, what's that, maybe 10-15 meters ahead, so more than enough light. That's the highest mode, and isn't that incredible? 850 lumens coming out from this pen light, and it's even hitting those trees all the way out into the back. So I mean, it does step down after a minute, but I'll tell you what, it's impressive. And we've got a pretty large hot spot in the center of the beam, obviously like due to the smaller reflector, but then there's also a ton of spill that goes into your peripheries. It's not really very bright, the spill, so I can't see too much in the peripherals, but I know, you know, I can spot bits and pieces around. So that's a strobe mode, low and medium, high. Again, there we have it. So I'll go for a little walk. Nextorch K30, that's your different modes in here. So low, low, and you can just see up until those rocks in the foreground. Even this you can get by, you can really get by with. That's enough light to do most things walking around. That second mode here is probably a bit more practical. A pen light, quite impressed. And that's your 850 lumen mode. Wow, it's just such a stark difference between the medium and the high mode. There's a lot of spill on the high mode compared to the other ones. And I'll probably just keep it on the high mode and see how it performs. It steps down.